And we're back with HC Vertigo and Griffin Gaming RPG and our discussion about IAE, the first part of IAE, with our After Dark section, where we take questions from the chat. So I'll bring up our question bot, which is still running, thankfully, because it's been crashing, very crashy recently. First question is from Wraith777. Oh nope, that's not a question.
Yeah, we don't do not questions here.
Well, he put down the question, however, is innovation or reinventing the wheel. There is a line though. The line there, I have no idea what he was talking about. Captain Cataphract asked the question. Question: Can the Perseus alone win a Polaris? Win against a Polaris? No.
No. The Perseus just doesn't have the tanky ability to take on Polaris, but you don't need that many people to fully crew a Perseus, so it comes down to which one's more person efficient.
Mhm.
We don't have NPC crew right now or AI blades for turrets. A couple of fighters can take down a Perseus. The shields of the Perseus are not that strong, as we found out the first time we took it out into Nick. Some of those new missions for what's the new security company? Intersect. I want to say intersex, but it's intersects. You can be easily overwhelmed by like 3 or 4 ships, a couple cutlasses, Vanguard, and a Corsair come at you, and your Perseus with 2 or 3 people. Like you can get just absolute wombo combo to death. Unlike a Polaris, the Polaris has a lot more. I think a Polaris has like 1 million shield hit points and 3 million hull hit points. And so the Perseus can tank a lot more stuff. And if you have a
300k or 400k hit points, this is what the Perseus has. So it's like not really high.
Not that high. I think that's one of the biggest contentions of the Perseus right now. It just doesn't. It's not tanky like people think it should be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that up to CIG. How tanky should the Perseus be? But yeah, a fully crewed Polaris would definitely be able to just absolutely PS.
Yeah, but a fully crewed Polaris is like 10 people.
Yeah, like well, if you get all the turrets manned, all the remote turrets manned, you definitely have enough DPS coming out of all those size 4 turrets. Plus, if you can get your size 6 guns per person.
Yeah.
Even the size 4 turrets, even if you didn't have that chin gun mounted with anybody, just the size 4 turrets would have enough firepower to like melt.
I think there is it's the calculus of is it better to have like 4 people in 2 ships or 8 people in 1 ship, and I think with the Perseus it says no, it's better to have 4 people in 2 ships. Because we took on an Idris. Long story, but the short version is one of our guys had an Idris, and I was playing with Loken. One of the guys had an Idris. He was doing a solo Idris just for fun because he had an Idris M. He didn't realize that he got boarded while we were waiting to get in, and 2 guys got in, killed him, and took the Idris. So we started chasing the Idris down and shooting it with 2 Perseuses. One Perseus was only had 1 turret, the other one had fully loaded.
Yeah.
In the span of them taking it and trying to run with it, we managed to blow up all of their engines.
Yeah.
Within a minute, we blew up all their engines with 2 Perseuses. So like 2 Perseuses, hard focusing on a solo Idris, made mincemeat of the thing within a minute or 2. And we almost managed to counterboard. So like. Solo Perseus is not good against anything except for large vessels. So if you're going up against like a Mercury Star Runner or a Connie or something like that, it's going to just eat its lunch. But it goes up against fighters, it's going to struggle a lot. And if it goes up against ships bigger than it, it's going to struggle without multiple versions of it.
Yeah.
So
you're definitely it's definitely one of those ships that's designed to be support other elements in the.
Yeah, a Percy Wolfpack is dangerous. A Percy Wolfpack with a combo like Idris or even Hammerhead, it can be damn near unstoppable. It's a force multiplier ship rather than a big kill everything ship. So, all right. Next question comes from for me from Asimer Jer Asimer Germany, who asks,
Mhm.
"Do you guys think the ship sound bugs that we have?
Oh god.
What do you think? What do you guys think of the ship sound bugs we've had for like 2 to 3 patches?" Um,
It's annoying, but I can ignore it. It's not the worst thing in stores. I mean, I
yeah,
just turn your volume down, I guess.
I imagine that a lot of those bugs are coming from the fact that CIG is actively changing the sounds. So whatever they're doing in the process of changing the sounds, causing some bugs. Because yeah, we know like a lot of ships are getting update sound passes and such.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Yeah, some of those bugs are downright deafening. I've had some weird, really loud sounds that come out of nowhere. So, um, so it's annoying, but it should be fixed at some point. I hope. And I don't think it's a huge issue compared to other issues that are out there that kind of break the game.
Yeah, like not being able to log in at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing to complain about something that's been in the game for a while. I would love to see CIG fix that stupid quantum sound bug because it's just where you get in and out of your ship and the quantum sound, the
Still
squealing
going.
sound effect,
Yeah.
yeah, is constantly going. But I, like I said, there's other worse things in Star Citizen. It's something that is pet peeve for me, but I play Star Citizen. That's something I have to admit.
Mhm.
All of us here probably play Star Citizen much.
Yeah. Gin and Tonic asks, question. Right now, Starship interiors are discounted? Or
Disgusting.
Discconted. Just listen to your conversation about the Golem Ox versus the whole A. You never once mentioned. Okay, so they're basically saying they're discounted.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So like they're not. People don't like them, or like people aren't taking it to advantage. You never once mentioned the whole A has an interior which might make more attractive than the Golem Ox. Once we get to the point where we can reliably bedlog and don't need to park a station somewhere, the perceived advantage of ship with a will there be a perceived advantage of a ship with an interior?
So, some other content creators here, but I vaguely remember CAG downplaying the necessity of beds.
Yes, they
There was a
have.
post on the forums a while ago. Now I don't know. Here's the problem with that. I didn't read that post. I think I was busy with something else that day. Um, but I remember hearing about it. I don't know if they were. There's a thing where CIG developers sometimes talk about the near state of Star Citizen or the current near state of Star Citizen, like what's happening in Star Citizen right now. Here's what's going to happen within the next 6 months, right? Sometimes they're talking that with that mentality, and sometimes Star CIG developers are talking about what's going to happen Star Citizen 1.0
Yeah.
beyond beta, beyond release, right?
And sometimes they don't
And
have.
I don't.
There's not context for like which
Mhm.
they're talking about, and they.
Yeah. I mean, bed logging doesn't matter right now because you just log out, you just quit to desktop in Star Citizen, and you log back in. You're generally speaking right back in your ship, right?
Yeah, as long as you haven't logged out for a long period of time or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what CIG could have been referring to. But yes, I think Chris Roberts definitely wants interiors count.
Yeah.
And the Golem Ox doesn't have an interior.
No.
Has no places for for sleeping, no places for prepping food. So you're gonna have to like use ration packs and cruise lux. I've imagined in the future CIG is going to give you like cooking like Fallout, right, where you get subtle benefits for preparing well prepared food. Like a nice steak and potato dinner or something.
Yeah.
Versus like just cracking a bottle of cruise lux open and just downing that like you're some single parent. Now that's what my father used to do. But when after they divorced my mom and him separated, we'd go to my father's house on the weekend. He would just order Domino's. That
Yeah.
would be our dinner and
So
our
easy,
breakfast for the next
yeah.
day. It's super easy. Yeah, you just call up Domino's, give them your credit card, boom, pizza's there in 30 minutes. There's dinner.
Yeah, I think that I'm sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, I think that is definitely going to be a point of contention later on in development, much later in development. And I think CIG definitely wants to roll back around to having like a well rested bonus. But
They've even said that.
our characters
Yeah.
are gonna it's gonna happen. I think they've already said it during like a couple of years ago in Citizen. Our characters are gonna have stats of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Tarkov, where you have like restful. You're gonna get a well rested bonus, and I don't think we're gonna have experience necessary, but we'll definitely have like the ability to maintain our character stats a little bit, like eat a good meal, eat healthy, and your and you carry more weight on your back and still maintain speed. Um, if you're diseased or something, you can't quite jump as far with heavy armor or some crap like that. Maybe you have to go down to like light armor or something, maintain distance or something, or character moves a little bit slower, your character coughs or something. So I definitely think CIG wants beds to mean something in the future. They want actual accoutrements for the player character to mean something. If you have a cook station in your ship, it's basically going to be kind of like a really crappy crafting where you go out and you collect stuff and you put it into the cook station, and you have recipes which are going to be like blends, right? You're gonna have and you're gonna make yourself a nice little steak dinner out of like, I don't know, quasi grazer. It's gonna be like you get +2 stamina regeneration for the next 8 hours or something.
Yeah.
And plus you get another 2 stamina regen for like having a well rested bonus because you logged out last night for 4 hours.
They've even said they're going to do well rested bonuses. They've said stuff like that. So, like it'll be for something. I think the reason why we have a super discounted interior is mostly because A, it's not optimal, but B, the gameplay is so focused on intrasystem rather than intersystem gameplay. There's really no advantage for you to be taking long hauls with a hull A across multiple star systems. When there is, then the golem becomes more of a liability rather than a benefit, because it is probably more of you fly between like a couple of different planets in a system, and then you have a place to stay and log out.
Even the long haul stuff that's in the game right now with CIG patch, it's like it doesn't take you that much time to go load up a cargo load to go from Nyx to Pyro or Stanton to Nyx.
But like in the game, like future, when you go from if your home is say Nyx in like Levski, and you have to go to like Terra, that's like 2 different jump points you have to go through. When you arrive, you have to pay for docking fees, and you'll probably have to pay for stay there at a location if you want to stay.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, okay, I already have to pay a bunch of money to be here on top of delivering.
You could just live in your ship.
I can just live in my
you
ship.
Have a little apartment. Yeah.
Instead of having to pay for like a hotel room, I can just like pay my docking fees and then just sleep in my ship. So
the fact that CIG continues to put beds in the game says that there's an intention for beds. So like to your point, HC and Paul, you're not dismissing them. It's just what are they going to do with them?
It's not a priority right now because
but later
the gameplay for it is.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the fact that they keep putting them in, right? If they wanted to do it, they could just let us spawn in our hangars, not in our habs. So they keep putting beds in, whether it's a new ship or a new location. So beds are going to mean something. I'm hoping that it goes along the lines of what you're saying, where it's those type of things that says if you rested, there's some stamina benefit, or you get a little bit more endurance, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, we play a couple survival games where that's there, and it doesn't make it a survival game. It just gives you this thing to do, and it doesn't have to be for hours on end, but just the fact that you do it can be meaningful in the game. The other thing I was going to say about the comment about I was
going to say, even just like making it so that your food and drink meter doesn't go down as fast if you have well rested, that would be a huge bonus,
Exactly.
And we already have food that's hydrating and nutritious in Star Citizen.
Exactly.
If you like I said, good food. If you don't drink Cruise Lux all the time, and you actually find stuff like actually Vestal water is hydrating.
Yeah.
So you need less water throughout your entire PlayStation if you just drink actual Vestal water, and then you eat find some food that is actually nutritious. You don't get as hungry as quickly.
And then you sleep on top of that. You probably have entire sessions before you have to start eating and drink again. Sorry. Go ahead.
Just one other, just real quick thing about that question that was asked about the whole A. And I think that there's another level of gameplay that some people don't do, but I know people who do it. And it's the fact that when I want to do a whole A run and deliver something, and I want someone to be with me for security reasons while I'm offloading or moving something. So that whole A or that raft becomes the reason why there are some people who don't want to fly, but they are willing to go with you and split the cost on something. They don't want to have to bring a second ship, maybe even for good reasons. It's better to just go in with one ship, but you've got somebody on there who, when you're taking those boxes off, there's somebody out there with a gun keeping an eye and watching your back. So I'm saying there's all types of gameplay versus just the person who's by themselves in that multi-crewed ship. There are people who really will support other people in the game because that's how they play. So I think that the whole we didn't mean to leave it off earlier when we mentioned it, because I know we talked about the raft, but I still think that those ships will have purpose, whether it's a solo player, as you mentioned earlier, Paul, or whether it's the multi people. Those ships, every ship will have its group of people that will use it for whatever they want to use it for.
Yeah. And I think that, like I said about the Ox, it fits inside an Idris, so that means that it can be kind of like a fighter based transport system. So you can put it wherever a fighter can land. You can land there, and now it becomes like a very big MPUV. So
Yeah.
same kind of way. All right. Next question comes from Del Ener, who asks, what kind of drops would you want for 4.5 and engineering? So Twitch drops. A 100 pack of fuses, fire hose extender.
Yeah. Multicolored fire extinguishers.
Yes.
Yeah, fire extinguisher skins, a multi-tool skins,
Yeah, I can see multi-tool skins would be good.
like a multi-tool pack of skins or something.
They should have an armor that's dedicated to firefighting. So it's got like a
They do.
insane.
A fire damage resist armor.
Yeah, but that's not.
We've got the ASD one.
But
The ASD one.
Isn't that? That's not an armor. That's clothing, right?
Oh no, it's not an armor, but it's a it's a fire suit, for fire suppression or whatever.
But like an armor that also has like heat bonuses or something like that.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh yeah. Gotcha.
So like you can survive longer in there, and it's like heat resistant and such. So so for all those invisible fires you're gonna have all throughout your ship, and not know is there.
I gotta step away for a second. Excuse me for one moment, okay?
Sure.
I'll be listening though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to step away for 2 seconds as well in a moment, but it's fine. Just to grab something.
All right, it's just gonna be me. I have the podcast, everybody. So we're gonna talk about.
Well, this is a question for you, there, Vertigo, from Iris, who asks: making fun of themselves would be funny if they didn't keep making the same mistakes again and again, and again. How often can CIG make a complete mess of their game doing fairly normal things before we start regard this as evidence of lack of ability on CIG's part?
Well, until people stop buying ships from CIG. I mean, like, I've talked about this before on my channel. I'm pretty sure Paul's probably mentioned this before. CIG is able to, I'm going to sarcastic air quotes here for anyone listening, get away with it because people keep buying the Kraken, the Idris, the Perseus, Polaris. Every time, the Kraken sold out in a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Today.
But
the first wave
but
disappeared immediately.
Even to that, I guarantee you they're going to make more money off of the Clipper than they are going to on all of their Kraken sales.
Yeah,
like they'll make so much more money just because of small volume,
And Paul, oh God, you've talked about like Reddit past, but they're legit. I'm discovering in the current year. I'm almost 43 years old, and I hate to admit it that there's what I call a Reddit syndrome. Where you're part of a very tight-knit fan base and you have a problem with a product or a video game or someone else, and because you're part of a very tight-knit echo chamber, you keep hearing feedback that reinforces whatever your problem is, right?
This isn't just a Reddit problem. This is a problem for the entire internet right now. This is a significant issue in the internet.
Right. But I call it the Reddit syndrome.
Yeah.
And some people tend to hyperfixate or hyperfocus on how poorly Star Citizen run, especially as streamers, as content creators, because we're actually in the guts, the bowels, digging through the bowels of Star Citizen and having a lot of problem. Where the actual player base, the payer base, people who pay the bills for Star Citizen, they're treating Star Citizen more like it's an interactive art, where they're happy to drop hundreds of dollars every year on a new ship or upgrading an existing ship they already have to something that's new. When the Perseus released, I'm sure a lot of people just cross-chassis whatever close to get at. My org leader, Exodus, he has a rolling store credit. He uses constant. It's a couple $1,000s in store credit. He'll always buy the latest, newest thing for store credit, play with it for a few days, and then buy. And that's just what he does. And he'll buy like cool skin for a ship he has, like no problem. A couple $100s every year, yeah, sure, it's fine. And there's a lot of people who are like that, and that's how CIG is able to, again, sarcastic air quotes, get away with it. Yeah. For those of you who are not watching the actual stream, I'm doing like air quotes with my fingers here.
Yes.
Because I mean, whether we like to, as fans of Star Citizen, this is like a coming to Jesus moment for everybody, at least for me, is that CIG is actually trying to make a product here, right? I've said this before back in the Derek Smart days. CIG, it's not a scam. CIG is actually trying to produce something here. And well, they're trying to produce like 5 different things, and that's kind of the biggest sin here. Like managing time, too many expectations, too many irons in the fire. Is CIG? They have a website, they have a storefront, which is separate from the website. Storefronts are kind of a slightly different thing you have to run.
Mhm.
You have a marketing team you have to run to hype your product up. You have a forum software you're trying to develop and keep up. You have a launcher for your game that you need to maintain. You have 2 games. You have an MMO, which is probably one of the most difficult type of video games to ever make.
Yep. That's the reason why most of them fail.
Plus, yeah, there's a lot of MMOs that fail. And a lot of them aren't nearly as detailed or immersive as Star Citizen. And then you have a single player game, Squadron 42, which would be like very immersive, kind of cinematic experience Chris Roberts to make. There's so much stuff going on in Star Citizen and CIG. It's hard for them to get everything done. But the player base keeps having faith in them. And I remember this scene from Game of Thrones where you have Tyrion Lannister and another guy asking, where does power come from, right? And the question is, one of the riddles he asks Tyrion Lannister is like, there's a king, a pope, and a wealthy merchant are all locked in a room with a sellsword, and every one of those people, those powerful people, is begging the sellsword to kill the other 2 guys. Who leaves that room alive and why? And it comes down to is like, well, power is just an illusion. What is value? Value is just an illusion. What is wealth? Wealth is just, how I have a pen here. This pen is worth $1 million. Is it worth $1 million? Well, if I sell it for $1 million, it is worth $1 million, right? And that's kind of what value is. That's what power is. People have faith in Star Citizen being a thing because they believe in it. And as a result, they will buy very expensive starships for Star Citizen because they think Chris Roberts is doing well, regardless, right? And I think that kind of answers the question right there.
Yeah.
Right? Why is Chris Roberts getting away with it? Because people have faith in Chris Roberts to produce.
And as much as it can be frustrating to hear this, is that like other people, we were talking about this earlier, other people do not have the same experiences as everyone else. Some people log into the game, have had very minimal or any bugs at all, and they're fine. Other people log into the game expecting bugs, they get bugs, and like, yeah, it's just part of the game. And then there are some people who can't log into the game, or can log into the game and experience every bug on the way down. And I think that probably based off of how the sales are and how the numbers look like, there's probably more people who are either experiencing the bugs and just kind of going, or not experiencing the bugs compared to the groups that are experiencing the bugs or having more problems. It's just the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The people who are having the issues are going to be more vocal about it than the people who are not having issues. And it can feel shitty when you're like, why is this game still existing and why am I having all these problems? And how can they keep getting away with this, quote unquote? And the answer is because you might be in the minority. And that sucks to feel like that. Because I've also had issues where I'm like, CIG needs to fix this. This is a huge issue. I think it's going to be a major problem for them. And it never is a major problem for them. And I'm like, well, fuck me. I guess I'm wrong on that one. I got that one way the fuck wrong. And it's mostly because sometimes the player base doesn't care. And that's the hard thing to
And I think a lot of the
swallow.
player base logs in for a few hours, plays with whatever the latest thing is. When the Idris released, I saw Idrises everywhere. I still see Idrises quite frequently. And I think someone did the math on how many, if CIG sells like 100 Idrises every time it's available, there's like no more than like 5,000 Idrises in the entire player base. There's like 5,000 to 6,000 Idrises out there. And like, if I'm seeing that many Idrises, then it has to be the same like 5,000 to 6,000 people every day logging, right? But CIG can make, I did the math one time, if the entire player base of 2 million people gave them like $500 a year, they'd make $100 million every year.
Yeah.
And honestly, $500 a year, 500 divided by 12, which is like what?
Don't ask me to do math live on stream.
I know math on live on stream. It's like, it's around $35, $40 a month, right? For entertainment cost for a lot of people who are like doctors and lawyers, that's nothing. That's pocket change, right?
Yes,
obviously
$41.66. But like,
a month.
Yeah, a month.
That's nothing for that's like not even a new game release.
That's how much money I pay for streaming services a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I only have like 2 streaming services, so but yeah, it's there's a lot of different factors in it, and it's one of those things where it can be frustrating, but at the same time, I had to learn this a long time ago that at a certain point you're just not going to. There is a current that is stronger than any one person or any group of people that is currently at play with Star Citizen, and it's impossible to fight that current. You can only at best guide the current. You're not going to stop it, and guiding the current, you don't guide the current by being like, this game is broken and it's going to fail. You need to listen to us because it's going to fail. Because most people go, no, I won't. I don't know who you are. You know. You want to add to this at all, Griff? Or
No, I mean, I think you hit it on the head. I was just thinking about how I remember one particular bug that people, I know it was a real bug for people. And it was, remember when it was the bug when people ran up and down ramps or stairs they would fall through all the time?
Mm-hmm.
I think I had that happen maybe twice. And there were some people that it happened to all the time, just constantly. If they were running up the back of a ramp of a Cuddy Black, they'd fall through it. I didn't have that problem. Some people, like you said, they come in the game and it's minimal. And for other people, it's like a constant. It's a frustration. And for those people who have that same thing happen over and over again, for them, the game is broken. It doesn't work. It sucks, blah, 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 blah. For the other people, it's like, it's a bug, but I found a workaround for it. You know what I mean? So it's so different for everybody. And sometimes people may feel that people are being callous because they're expressing how they really feel or the frustrations that they're running through. Maybe it's not a CIG problem. Maybe it's their internet service or their ping or whatever. I mean, there's all these different variables why people get impacted. And then sometimes it is CIG. So it is, I feel bad for people who have constant difficulties. I couldn't, with the last AMD thing, I was out for 3 weeks. That's the longest I've ever, no, I take that back. I've been out longer than that. But that was the longest where I really couldn't get in when the AMD driver thing came up. And I just sat there and waited. And I'm listening to other people tell me how great it is to be in the Knicks and they're seeing all this other stuff. And I'm like, And the day before we went live, I finally was able to get in, but I've been around long enough to know that it was my turn to suffer. Other people suffered longer than me. I've got 3 accounts. My first 2 accounts, I can get in the game. My third one still can't get in. And it's the same computer and everything. Why can't my third one get in? I have no idea. But it's my turn to suffer, and other people are having a ball. People like to doing missions in Knicks. I went to Knicks one time and walked around Levski half for 50% of it. That's all I've seen, So it's, we all want stuff to happen and work and do well, but the difficulties that some people have out there are very real for them, and that's understandable.
All right. I'm going to ask this next question and step away for 2 seconds because I got to get something. The question is from Firefly212. Good to see you again. Who asks, why are there so many ships that aren't the Freelancer when that's really all anyone needs? All right, I'm going to skip. It's not going to be the one I'm going to leave you on because that's the one. I'll invert that a little bit. The Freelancer is a ship that is in dire need of an interior rework. What would you do to improve it, and how long do you think it's going to take for CIG to actually improve the Freelancer? I'll start with you on this one, Griff, since you were stepped away before. What would it need first, and then when do you think it's going to actually happen?
I got a little disappointed because I kept hoping it was going to come when they did that component rework, when they added the components to it. And I was like, dude, that was an opportunity to go ahead and clean that sucker up and do it right. And all they did was just put the components in. The Freelancer is like a lot of the earlier ship, and we just got the Aurora rework, which some of us are excited to see, even though we don't care necessarily, but we do want to see what they came up with. I'm really hoping that the Freelancer and the Connie both get those reworks that they've talked about. They've talked about them for a long time.
Oh yeah, the 600i.
Yeah. I mean, 600i was a later ship, but those granddaddy ships, AC, the ones that were around from the beginning. I really hope that they get spruced up, not just gold standard, but they really, because those were a lot of the ships that people bought in the early days based upon the vision of the game, right? And the Freelancers, the DUR, all of them. I would love to see them all get some love, just like we want to see the Gladiator get some love. So, but to answer the question about why do we have all these other ships, CIG has always said, not only will we have these multiple manufacturers, but each manufacturer may have their own version of the same type of ship. So just like right now, we're seeing the Ox, we've got the Raft, we've got the Hull A. I mean, there's several of those ships or the C1 that does 64 SCU. You've got multiples of it, and each manufacturer may have a variant. And it's also because everybody's different. Some people don't want their cargo on the outside. Some people want their cargo on the inside. I mean, there's all these different variables of how players play. So to make that one ship that does everything is not on CIG's plan. And I know we try to make a ship that's like that, but that is not the plan. Some people are going to like the Clipper, other people are not going to like the Clipper, and they're going to have variants of that even. So I remember when the Intrepid came out, there were people who hated the Intrepid. I love the Intrepid. I never had a go-to ship that's my daily driver until the Intrepid came out. And so other people, they don't like the Intrepid. So you're going to have variables of the same theme in the game, I think, and CIG is going to do that. Not to mention, just like you got different cars, same thing with this, no different.
All right. Vertigo, did you talk to you about your thoughts on what the Freelancer is, what needs to be changed with Freelancer, and
just change the Freelancer to a two-person ship. Take 2 of the seats out of the cockpit, take 2 of the beds out of the habitation area, and kind of use that space to expand, I don't know, usability or comfort, creature comfort.
Yeah. I agree. 2-3 person ship at the most, 3 at the most, but I agree because the 4 is kind of cramped in that ship.
But yeah,
it's
that was
cramped.
it gets a little cramped back there. I mean, or
If
you
you
could have
got
like add jump
gunner-
seats.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a gunner in the turret and 2 people in the front, that's all you need. That 4th one I've never been able to figure out. And I know it's the engineering dynamic, but a co-pilot could do that. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's plenty of two-person ships that have that engine. Where you just have the second person doing the engineering. Freelancer always seemed like a second two-person.
it's a 2-person ship? Yeah, it's 2-person ship.
Yep.
Unless you want to hand off the. I always thought that the Freelancer, the main guns for the pilot, could be handed off to one of the co-pilots, and
It should
they
be
could be like remote turrets.
Yeah, they should be able to. Well, again, the co-pilot should also be able to take control of the ship. So.
Well, imagine if the guns were remember the early way the guns were, those side guns?
Yeah, where they could.
Do you guys remember they moved? There were turrets that moved out like that. I mean, that was the other thing too back in the day. So,
I think the biggest thing it needs is just it needs 2 seats at the front. It needs to remove two beds and include more like suit lockers, weapon racks.
Weapon racks, suit lockers.
Yes.
That weird awkward middle section that's like the airlock. That's
also compressed area.
That's also a cargo area. Just turn that into the component zone to some components. And then
engineering area.
And then with the engineering bay there, like the engineering console there, and then by making the back turret remote turret rather than you will free up the space in the back to add more cargo. So a lot of the cargo you would have in that middle section and now can be put into that back section, where that turret area would be.
How many times did you bang your head on that railing that came down back there with the turret?
Yeah, all the time.
Plenty of time.
How many times have you tried to leave the Freelancer and you ended up climbing into that back turret?
Into that turret by accident?
Yeah.
Stuck in the animation? Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah. Now, in terms of when it comes out, I think it has to come out pre 1.0. That has to be a thing that comes out before 1.0. Because that's the Connie, the Starlancer, or the Starfarer, I think those are all really important to come out before 1.0, and they're somewhat easy in comparison to something like the Reclaimer, which is going to be a nightmare to try to redo the interior. So, all right, turned into a good question. That might actually be the title of this question answer session. Yort asks, with the introduction of engineering, do you think that NPCs should be introduced earlier to allow players to use their multi-crew ships?
I think NPC crew should have been introduced a long time ago with turrets. Like, to hell with engineering. Let's roll it back with, we have ships like the Polaris, which have a hilarious number of turrets on them. I would just love to have a few NPCs to throw in a few of those turrets.
I
kind of flesh out.
Same
with the Idris.
I have a very controversial opinion, and that is always triggers solo players and people who have been wanting
just
NPCs.
Get some friends.
Not just get some friends. I don't think NPCs have a spot in Star Citizen anymore. I don't think NPC crews are
go to hell, Paul.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're no longer friends.
I just think that the game as it stands now works better with things like bladed turrets to replace the turrets. Because that is actually going to take up resources, and everything else should be player focused.
So here's the problem, Chris, whoever. Here's Paul.
Yeah.
There is more Captain Kirks than there are Scotties in Star Citizen. CIG
I disagree.
keeps selling ships.
I
CIG
disagree.
keeps selling ships. They're not selling access to the game. They're not selling Star Citizen access. Be a crew member on Paul Shelley's Astropub ship.
No, I think a lot of people are buying ships so they can be Scotty. They have no intention of being a captain because they don't want that pressure, but they want that ship so they can play with their friends.
I think we're gonna have a legit coming to Jesus moment here in the next couple of years.
We'll see.
Where people realize that they can't get their entire ship. There are people out there who do want to be Scotty. I'm not going to say that. Are there enough? I don't think so.
I disagree.
I don't think
there's
enough players out there
perks.
to fill up everybody's interest that bought one.
Listen, I'm with my community, and somebody will pull out a Polaris or something, the ship that everybody wants to say, who wants to fly it? And nobody answers, right? Yeah. Nobody wants the liability. They're happy to do something else on the ship. And even the guy who owns it is offering up for somebody else to fly it, So I think it's a mixture. I think for some groups, there are those people who are the pilots. They want to get in. They want to do that. And then there's those other groups of people who are just there to let's have some fun. Let's go do it, Like
I said, CIG, they're not selling game access for $10 or something like that. They're selling starships. That's their business model.
They're selling.
So they're selling Captain Kirks.
They're selling dreams, but like.
They're selling dreams.
They are.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Oh my God.
Like
they're selling arts.
I mean, they're selling. The thing is that like Star Citizen has always been pitched as a sort of the sci-fi ship of your imagination, the sci-fi game of your imagination. Mm-hmm. And so for some people, that's being Captain Kirk. For some people, that's being Han Solo. For some people, that's being Captain Mal Reynolds. Some people that's I'm pretty. Captain James Holden, or being Naomi, or why am I blanking on his name? That guy,
Geordi LaForge.
I am that guy,
Yeah, Geordi LaForge. We could just refer back to Star Trek, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like
a lot of people want to be Han Solo, and some people want to be Chewbacca.
So like everyone has a different sort of style they want to do, and so as a result, a lot of people are like, well, I want to be the engineer Amos with a shotgun who is that guy doing atrocities.
Yeah, but we already have that guy on our ship. You get in the co-pilot seat.
Which is why
turret that bitch.
Which is why they buy a ship and then they get their friends to be the other people and they'll just be Amos.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens a lot.
But
often.
These are nerds we're talking about, friends,
right? But that's the thing is that
smart enough to get us to accept to use soap.
I think most
before we go to a convention.
I think most people who are more inclined to do solo play though are probably not buying $600 ships. They're probably buying the smaller ships. So like I understand.
But you said Star Citizen is selling dreams, right?
They are.
And there's people out there who are very rich that can only dream of having friends.
Yes, that's
to
true.
Crew their javelin.
Oh my God.
I don't think CIG is going to go that route, but I wouldn't be surprised if they start severely limiting the access to NPCs, simply because I can see it becoming a gameplay balance issue.
It already is a gameplay balance issue. Just having like a couple people inside of an Idris, like watch Zero State, try to bounty hunt people. Like he shows up, it's an Idris. Well, I guess we're done here.
Yeah. But I mean,
right? Doesn't how many people are in the Idris? If there's like 4 people inside that Idris, you're not getting that. You're not getting that bounty with a fucking Gladius.
Yeah. So it's a matter of like.
I'd want to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All I was going to say is that that's my opinion, my controversial opinion that makes people mad at me. But I also I don't think they're going to prioritize NPCs in order to get that. I think a lot of people are making much ado about nothing about the engineering. And people are freaking out because they're like, solo gameplay is going to be killed. And we talked about this last section, but literally, the Clipper is them telling you, no, it's not. Trust us.
Yeah. Have you seen the inside of the Clipper? The Clipper is not easy to get around to the engineering bay.
Yeah.
Like to get to that second level, like you have to climb a ladder to get to that. That's not a very quick. And like you want to put a fire out. It's like the engineering is split. That's one of the reasons why I hate the Clipper.
Yeah.
It's like its engineering bay is split between 2 levels. And if you have a fire in like one of them, you have to get out, run back, fall down a ladder, put it out, get back to the cockpit. So engineering is going to have to be a lot slower.
Clipper is a solo ship, but that's the thing. It's like as a result, engineering is going to. It's going to get balanced so that it's easier to handle it.
That's the word. The balance is it.
Yeah. Balance.
It's
balance.
Not balanced.
I played the engineering playtest.
Yeah.
And everything was way too quick to disable, in my opinion. Fire happened way too quickly and whatnot. And
I wonder if that was mostly for testing, though. That's the other thing.
I think it was for testing to actually make sure we actually saw fire within our play session.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and they're
yeah,
getting the analytics on all that. It'll get balanced out and it'll take longer, but there will be those hard decisions that people will have to make of, do I continue to fight? I'm looking at my stuff. My stuff's heating up. Can I
hmm
push it? Do I need to
got a
break off?
smoke alarm going off in the cabin. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Exactly.
oh, I'm starting to see my heat
Exactly.
starting to go up.
Yeah, those are the things that they're introducing with it. I think HC, your own point. I don't think it's going to be like that triggering, because it obviously that'll take away the fun. People don't want to be spending time doing maintenance all the time,
No.
even if you've got a crew
Yeah.
on your ship. So I agree with you, Paul. Though I think that as we've watched the evolution of this, there are some things that AI blades can work with, especially with engineering, with being able to. If I have it, let's say if I've got a group of people and a couple of my people die or somebody has to leave, the fact that I can activate an AI turret to fill in for that slot is good. My concern about NPCs is that people have only looked at, most people, not everybody, have looked at NPCs from a battle position. But my
Mhm.
question also is, what else can AI bring that NPCs can do on a ship that makes sense to a person who's running that ship? So
Mhm.
to a point, if a fire breaks out, are we
Yeah.
talking about NPCs being able to respond to a fire? Are we talking
Mhm.
about NPCs and how do they report back when we know if a fire has gotten too far, has gone too much, and the NPC can't handle it? Those are the questions I'm more concerned about versus an NPC who's able to handle a turret. So for them to develop AI, if they do that, and what's the interface for that? Is I'm a captain and
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk to people on my crew. I've also got to monitor this NPC who may be trying to tell me the fire is getting out of hand. Do I eject the NPC out of the ship when I vent it? I mean, all these variables that I don't think it's much bigger when
Yeah.
it comes to bringing NPCs. Even though CIG has talked about hiring them and them having ratings, I think it's going to come in some form. What that form will be, we'll have to see, but it ain't gonna be no time soon, because that's a lot in this game. If you're talking about NPCs, and they want NPCs to be able to traverse ships and do other stuff, but when is that going to happen? Don't know.
No. I will push back a little bit. Someone, Damian Rodriguez said, like, oh yeah, looks at water features. CIG is not going to balance it. I disagree. Water and food is really well balanced in the game. It's it's designed to make you stop and take a drink once every 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. That's what it is, and it's really easy to like to hydrate, and food is really easy. Like, as somebody who plays a lot of survival games, it is very forgiving for a
Yes,
game
right.
mechanic. It's
Yeah, the number of times I've died to hunger or thirst, I can count on one hand
yeah,
in the past 10 years.
and it's probably happened most of the time when the mechanic was first introduced.
Klesher.
Yeah.
Klesher.
Oh, it's
Trying to
Klesher,
escape Klesher.
Yeah.
And yeah.
yeah, that's
Survival
brutal.
you find food and water everywhere in
Yeah.
Saracen.
Mm.
Yeah, even
Or you find
even
a
just
med bay that can
looting
top
it.
you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, please to get them to get the pizza places working, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's get the pizza places working.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Varian Rex asks, do you think CIG will do a pass on some of the older ships to add a crafting station to it? Or will CIG take the easy way out and using crafting station you can place in the cargo grid? I think it's a little bit of both.
Yes to both.
Yeah.
Yes
Yeah.
to both.
Yep.
I think, like, for instance, the Carrick's machine room screaming for a crafting station.
Crafting, yeah.
But
I think
like,
that's supposed to be a crafting station.
Yeah, it is, right.
but then you have and like we were talking about earlier, Firefly was talking about how he has a workbench in his inventory for his hangar, but doesn't have a crafting. I'm like, that's going to be the crafting station. That's just going to evolve into a portable crafting station you can throw around. That's what's going to be. And so I think there'll be a bit combination of the two. I also think that a lot of ships that have sort of like generic food squirt things, like they look like they have like liquid, like, the like gel food paste sort of dispensers. I think those are going to turn into crafters, like food crafters, food fabs.
Mm.
So like I think that, yeah, we will see almost every ship have some form of crafting in it, only because the ships that have like kitchens will have some sort of effectively microwave that makes you food.
Chef Mike. He's my co-pilot
Yeah.
when I'm flying my 300i.
Yeah, 3D printed double dogs made out of random bits and pieces you find on the ground.
Made out of
Oh my
quasi grazer anus.
What do you think there, Griff? Do you think we're going to see more incorporated, more?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. You guys hit it already on the head. I think there'll be a little bit of both. Absolutely.
CIG's going to sell it. They already showed off that
Mobile crafter?
that cargo-based
Crafting thingy.
one,
Yeah.
the mobile
Portable
crafting
one.
thingy. So that's coming.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
most ships should be able to slot that into their cargo room somewhere.
It's a 2SU crate, basically. So,
Yeah.
And I do think.
And I
Good.
go ahead. I'll go. Someone has to be on top of this relationship. I definitely think that CIG has the potential to go back through some old ships and add crafting stations.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what ships actually make sense. Like Constellation,
Maybe the Constellation, definitely the Carrack.
Carrack definitely has one. Starfarer could have one, maybe.
Starfarer could have one. The
Odyssey,
the Reclaimer.
Odyssey.
older ships. Sometimes sorry, older ships.
Well,
Yeah.
Reclaimer already has a crafting station, Paul.
Yeah, it has a miniature crafting station. I mean, like a proper
like a
sized one,
I know.
a huge one.
Yep.
And
Proper
then
one.
you could probably see one on the Idris, because the Idris probably doesn't have one yet. The Perseus, I could see them adding that somewhere. I could see them doing it for the.
But don't get your hopes up, folks. CIG may literally this crafting station on the Clipper may be a new pattern from CIG where they're like, okay, so now all the new ships coming after
Have crafting
the
stations.
Clipper will have crafting put into them somewhere, because CIG likes doing a Mark II version of ships
Yeah.
to get more money. And as we
Yep.
start getting new features into the game, or start getting towards the release of new features, CIG likes getting ships out that emphasize that new.
Yep.
All right. Next question comes from Remiko, who asks, do you think that them getting engineering for 4.5 is premature, given we still don't have a version of Maelstrom that can handle armor and penetration, in which to balance both weapons and engineering all around? Of course it's premature, but that's not how CIG is making the game. Yeah.
As we said earlier in the last version of the podcast,
it's going to be gloriously bad when it comes out.
Yeah.
It will break the game, and everyone will hate it. But it has to be in because it's part of the game. Like you're not you can, like I said, you can try to guide the direction of the game, but you're never going to fight upriver. You're never going to block this river. You no matter how much you kick and scream and you hate it and you say it's going to kill the game, the best option is either to get out of the river or try to guide it or just ride the rapids. You're not going to stop CIG from doing what CIG wants to do.
There are things in development too that are interdependent, and some things that it would be nice to say, oh, let's put the whole package together and put it in and see how it works. But there are also times where they have to do things in stages. And as great as it would be, we've all been waiting on armor to come into the game for the longest time. But we also remember talking about when they wanted to have shield emitters coming into the game. I mean, there's a lot of things that they have to bring them in one by one and get them refined. And then when they bring in that next thing, see what the impact of that is on the thing that they had just put in and the balancing there. So yeah, it would be nice to have all of it kind of drop at one time and try to fix it, but it would be a monstrosity. So, again, this is just one of those things that it has to come in phases as they're building it out.
Also, don't assume that engineering is going to make 4.5.
No, it'll probably get pushed down.
Yeah.
It'll probably
It could get pushed out, or CIG could pull the trigger and say, "Here's engineering, no matter how bad it is."
Yeah.
There's a couple scenarios that can happen, but I remember
they said they want to get
salvaging.
it out by the end of the year.
I remember salvaging.
Yeah.
And salvaging had been coming for a very, 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 very long time, even after the Reclaimers added to the game. And by the time the Vulture was added, salvaging had been punted back and back and back, and eventually got punted off the roadmap. This was back in the old roadmap. So, and 4.5 is going to be probably the end of the year patch.
Yeah,
so
almost
end of December, end of January. And even though pretty much every place that CIG has a business celebrates Christmas.
Yes.
Right? So you're going to have a lot of employees taking the holiday breaks, usually about a week around that time. So I don't think a big major feature is likely for the end of the year like engineering. But we'll see. CIG is more than welcome to prove
It's on
me
their
wrong.
roadmap, which is the reason
on the
why.
roadmap.
So that's the hard. But we'll see.
There's the expression "ink paper cannot refuse ink" comes to my mind. You could write whatever the hell you want on that roadmap.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's guaranteed to come.
Asmer Jur asks, engineering, what do you think of the huge problem with armor? We already answered that, basically.
I don't think armor's coming anytime soon, but we don't need Maelstrom for armor because we already had damage penetration.
Yeah.
An engineering playtest was up.
I mean, Maelstrom armor is important because it's the actual final version of armor, but they've done fake armor before. Like,
Yeah, and I think Maelstrom is basically like physical destruction, like getting
Yeah.
a wing blown off
and it's
from like having too many newtons hit it.
yeah, and that's the armor. So it's like the Maelstrom armor basically calculates the destruction. So like if how much armor you have will determine how much the penetration can have in terms of the bullets and all that kind of stuff. So it actually, rather than just being like negative 200 damage, it's like, okay, this is where the bullet stops. So it figures out the physics of it, and then it's the physics-based damage system is what they talked about. Yeah, we've been waiting for it for a decade. Yeah, but I don't think it's going to matter as much as people think, because engineering is the removal of health pools. So it'll be no longer does this ship blow up or not blow up because of your HP went to 0. It'll be did you hit the freaking power plant or not? So. Platinum Sniper on YouTube asks, will they ever bring back Whitley's Guide? I fucking hope. I miss Jax. We all miss Jax.
Jax was actually kind of nice, honestly. Like, there was some of the cringe shit he did, but I mean, I kind of enjoyed his videos.
It's a post Squadron thing. I think once Squadron is hit gold, so maybe we might see it this year. But who knows if the cinematics team are also going to be, or this year in 2026. We'll see if Squadron actually comes out in 2026. Is the big question. So, Master Sunshine asks, given the Clipper is arguably one of the best designed ships regarding its maximizing function over form, how do you?
God.
How do you?
I'm the comedian here.
Yeah. How do you think future ships might incorporate this design into the design, especially Drake?
Drake, Drake's got this theme, right, where they're trying to be that reach to every man kind of thing, the every opportunity kind of thing. And it kind of goes with them. Whether other ones will adapt and start producing similar types of things, I'm not sure. Be interesting. I'm not sure if that would happen. I don't know what you guys think about that.
So I'm like, look at this. This is a fairly complicated function over form. How would you like to think ships? I mean, I have to go back and read the question.
Griff, your background went out, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm sitting here trying to figure out why I wasn't doing anything. It just disappeared on me. I don't know why.
I mean, like more crafting into ships, more feature-rich interior with like more like medical. Because the Clipper, the things it has for the actual people who actually buy it, right? You have obviously accoutrements in there for the pilot. You know, bed, food prep area. You also have medical station, and you have a crafting station. You have cargo capacity, and you have interior access to all your components, right? And that's a fairly feature-rich ship right there. All the stuff that the pilot has access for the pilot's sake. I just, if that's the functionality you're talking about, like obviously CIG is going to start. I mean, I talked about this a little earlier. When CIG loves making a Mark II version of a ship that just is like the previous ship, but like the Hornet Mark II, right? It's a Hornet, but it has better guns.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have a Mark II version of the Constellation. It's a Constellation that has crafting and a medical bed inside of it, and it also has a little it has little potted plants where you can grow fruits and fresh fruits and vegetables that you can use to cook and get a bonus for your stamina regeneration, right?
I think the question is, I think, is that there is no wasted space on the Clipper. It is all used space. It's either used for transition from one deck to another. It's used for components. It's used, like, there is no just hallways. It is all just stuck together. I think that's what you were saying in terms of that.
Less hallways. The Perseus and the Polaris suffer from that.
Hallway
Polaris especially. So does the Carrack a little bit too, where you come out to a hallway.
Hammerhead is egregious with that because it's just hallways. It is just hallways.
Because you're moving through one room to get to the next room, so your room you're moving through has a purpose, even though you're not currently using it.
Well, also the reason why they have those hallways is so because a lot of those hallways have multiple doors. It's because of engineering, because they want to be able to lock down doors to either A, prevent people coming in, or B, decompress that area so it stops a fire or prevent a fire from spreading. So like that's really what those are designed for. But I don't. I think this is more of a. I don't think this is some sort of sign that Drake is going to somehow become hyper efficient with all of their ships. Drake has always kind of been like that, anyways. I think a lot of people are just getting swept up in the hype of a ship that is finally being made for just solo players rather than for multi-crew people, and they're like, "Yes, this is amazing. I wonder, it's lovely." But
I mean, like the Clipper could have been a multi-crew ship, kind of like the Cutlass Black.
easy. It has two seats on it. It has two drop
three
seats.
seats. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has the pilot seat and then 2 drop seats for like passengers, and they could have thrown like a remote turret in there somewhere with
Or
a little station.
Made the bed a bunk bed, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they could have made it. But yeah, the Clipper, it has some nice features, internal features. I don't particularly care for the ship. I'll say it again.
Yeah.
It has a very convoluted transit system inside the ship. You have to go up and down ladders. If emergency breaks out, like good luck getting between decks. It's very tall, which means it's not going to fit in certain places as well. The cargo capacity of the thing is like almost like the Sulin.
All right, we've got a couple questions left, and I want to get through them because some of them are pretty.
Go for it.
These ones. So Varian Rex asks, in the 2024 ship silhouettes, there appears to be a consolidated Outland shaped ship. Do you think we'll see this as a non-leaked surprise in a few days? No. All of the ships that will have come out have already been on the floor. It would have been in the files already. So that's either one that got pushed back because it was to deal with something like base building, or just wasn't ready yet.
It's gonna be the Galaxy. I think the one that we haven't seen yet looks kind of like the Galaxy.
It's kind of like the flat nose. It looks kind of like a shuttle with like the two little that kind of thing. Next question is best in show next year. Which ship? Probably the Perseus.
I can see it. I can see the Perseus.
Kraken won't be out. It'll be a fight between the Perseus and the Ironclad if the Ironclad comes out. Because I think a lot of people will like the Ironclad.
Definitely not an Origin ship. Top 4. Origin ships usually don't make the top 4. I think the 600i made it 1 year.
If they, I think it won not one, but it was in the top 4 1 year.
Yeah, it was like I said, it got a skin, best in show skin, but the Origin almost never makes it to the top 4 or win, no matter what.
Well, people are saying Clipper. Maybe the Clipper. It is again. I think this is a weird situation where I think Griff, myself, and Vertigo all have the same opinion. We're just kind of like, it's nice, but like the community is losing their goddamn mind over it as if it's the best thing ever. And I'm like,
I don't know. Like I
don't know either.
Same with
it's neat.
The Asgard is a better ship,
yeah,
even for a solo player.
But
the Asgard doesn't have medical. You could put a fucking Ursa rover in the back of it.
Yeah,
a Pisces.
You
can't do crafting. It's gonna have a little crafting thing you could put in your cargo grid.
Yeah, I don't get it. I understand why people are excited about it, but I feel like this hype is insane. Like I'm a Drake.
It's a very unique looking ship. I think the asymmetrical design is like. And I think it's ugly as sin. It probably has that Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
Kind of like ugliness
beauty.
Ugliness to it.
Yeah.
Ugly beauty.
We talked about it earlier.
I hate the look of the Millennium Falcon, honestly, but it's a very unique silhouette. I'll give it that. It's very iconic.
I'm a Drake diehard fan. I have this literally within arm's reach of me at all times, and I'm just like, I'm just happy people are enjoying Drake again. All right, welcome to the family. Varian Rex asks, the Perseus now has 96 SCU cargo grid. That means it's now an armored cargo hauler, right? No.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm like, why would I argue? Why would I argue over that? Yeah, it's got armor, it's got guns, it can call cargo. Will it be profitable?
No.
Will it be worth your time?
No.
Probably not, but you can do it. Star Citizen lets you do dumb things.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to stick your dick in a toaster, like Chris Roberts is not going to slap it out of your hand. I mean, he'll just like sit and watch. Like, yeah, sure, go for it.
I think it's more in reference to the fact that there are people who are loading up like Polaris's with cargo and making an absolute killing off of certain trades, because like if you load it up with a Polaris, it's a solo polo, you could just go wherever you want. Like no one's going to stop you. So you could just do the biggest, most intensive like cargo you can find, the one that would be the most eye-watering to a pirate, and they'll just see you and be like, you're too of a hard target, fuck off. And so people
that's the whole idea behind the Idris P, the Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Was that like, yeah, you don't have the big gun, but you have the shield generator, you have the whole armor, you have the turrets, and you can carry a lot of cargo, so no one's really gonna fuck with you.
Raptor Man says asks right now Nyx has Levski and 2 jump gate stations. Upon full release of the system, how many other friendly space stations do you think Nyx will have? It has 1 jump point to Tohill.
I can't remember. Yeah.
And it has 1 jump point to Hadrian. So I think it has 4 jump points. The one that's currently goes to Stanton is actually going to go to
Pyro. It has what? A Pyro Magnus? No.
No, the one that's in Stanton is the Magnus Station, which is the one that's currently connected to Nyx.
Yeah.
The one that's in Nyx is actually the Castra jump point. The one that goes to Stanton is the Castra jump point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna have a couple more. I don't think you're gonna see a lot of space stations like Pyro or Stanton though, because CIG, like, hand on God,
you'll see a lot of abandoned QV stations, but I think I think we're hoping the idea that we're going to see a lot less stations, so we have like Starfarer gameplay.
Oh yeah,
right?
no, hand to God, I believe that we're going to see a lot of the stations in Pyro disappear. Like other than the main 4, I think we're going to see most of those other ones disappear. We might see something like Starlight still be around. There'll be like 1 station per planetary body, but like there's a bunch of them that are like on the real deep fringes. I think they're going to just disappear. So that there'll only be like 5 or 6 stations in Pyro, because they need to make that Pyro more dangerous and more reliant on refueling. So, Raptorman then asks, how much do you believe the whole B will increase in price upon full release? Not much.
$20.
Maybe.
$20.
Because it's going up now. Because it's going to go up because of its reconcept.
It started at 90. What is it now?
We don't know, but we know it's going to go up after this sale.
So
yeah, CIG, I think they
300 is it 384 SCU? So
something like that.
Raft-ish price tag.
More than Raft. Shoot, that's more than Raft. 384.
And the Raft is also going to go up in price as well.
I'm trying to remember what's
be
the
at 175
C2?
maybe.
C2's
175.
Like yeah.
It was $90.
Yeah.
And now it could easily double in price.
What is it?
It's like $90.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I say 175 maybe. I don't know.
Closer
160,
to
175.
Somewhere near 200.
Closer to 2, you think? Closer to 2?
Yeah.
It's almost
somewhere
400
between
SCU.
$150 and $200 US.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, the whole A is going up to $90 easy, because it's we now know what
it is.
Because we know it's
that's what it is now.
Is it now? Yeah. Why is Raft going up again? It's going up because it was still the same price as it was when it was only hauling 96 SCU, and now it is 192 SCU. So they're changing it for it to reflect its abilities.
It is a much better ship than it was ever.
Yeah.
It concepted as.
You can get it at the old price, and that's the last time, right? This is the last time you can get it at the old price. So if you're interested,
same with the whole B, same with the so. And they'll probably go up in game as well. All right, we got 3 more questions. Escape asks, how do each of you like the MPUV Max, which is the
Ox?
The Ox. Do you hope
I think it's fine.
You think it's fine? Well, we talked about it earlier.
Yeah,
we talked about it.
Not a ship for me, but I think it's a ship for some people.
And then asks on, do you hope to see more upscaled versions of microships, or perhaps more micro versions of existing ships? I think that's just the nature of building, because once you know what works, being able to scale it up or down should be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like, because you say it's an MPUV Max, I call it a mini Raft, because they're basically the same thing. They all it sort of fits in that gap. And like I've said, I think that the Golem's going to get a refueler. I think there's going to be a refueler version of the Ox or the Golem, which is just going to be a mini Starfarer. Because we need one. We need a starter refueler. So, yeah.
That's supposed to be like the Vulcan, right?
Like the Vulcan.
Repair, rearm.
Yeah, but the Vulcan does repair, rearm, and refuel at once. So I'm thinking like we're gonna get a starter ship for repair, rearm, and refuel. So we'll get a starter repair ship, a starter rearm ship, and a starter refueling ship separately.
I think we just need a version of like Spaceballs Mega Maid, except it could be a dude. And it just like has like a pipe that comes out of its crotch and it just pisses into your fuel tank. I think that would be hilarious.
That's a great idea to have a giant dude in a maid outfit pissing into your fuel tank. That would be fantastic.
I mean, Jesus Christ, I am a genius. Nobody's ever thought about this. And that could be a Drake ship too, because I remember. Okay, so I'm going to give you all a backseat.
We have found about things that live inside of HC Vertigo's brain that we did not know existed.
I'm going to describe the thought process that made this. Okay, so I've seen Spaceballs, and Spaceballs, I love Spaceballs. It's a great movie. But I remember CIG talking about the Talon, right? I was thinking about the Talon, like microships, and the Talon's pretty small.
And it's a bird.
I've been thinking about that. They talked about the design of the Talon, right? It's a ship that's made by birds, so it looks like birds. And I think to this, and I think of this thing where it's like, how come we have humans that make ships and vehicles, and the ships and vehicles don't look like a human being, right? Or like an ape or a monkey or something. So I'm thinking we need a refueling ship that just has Mecha, exactly.
There we go.
There we go. So we need a ship like Mega Maid that just pisses into your fuel tank. That's what we need. That's what the humans need.
Yes. I'm just saying we do have that in science fiction. They're called mecha and they exist, but Chris Roberts hates mecha. So Trouble Magnet asks, should CIG just skip any big features in the December patch since there will be a week or more of zero support due to Christmas and New Year's holidays? Maybe bug fixes at most. I think CIG is going to the patch goes. That's their rule. The patch goes, and I think they're going to do it. Mm-hmm. I think at best what we're going to get is what we got with 4.0, which is a preview patch. We'll get it's technically done, it's released, and any of your progress will skip over to the other. But we know it's still unstable. You can play the stable version, or you can play the 4.5. And then when we come back from break, we'll put it back in. I think that's the best we'll get. Otherwise, they'll send it. They'll just freaking send it, and it'll be broken over the patch over the holidays. They don't care.
It'll be better. God! No, it'll be better to do what you said. It'll be better to do what you said. Put it in the PTU. Let us play with it during that time. CIG usually has a few staff that stick around if the bugs are super, super bad, but they'll get analytics from it and whatnot when they get back after their vacation.
Yeah, and if they did
keep it live when reasonable, so people can play that without a lot of frustration.
And if they did it in the preview style, where like no matter whatever you did in the preview will carry over into, 4.5 live, then people will actually play it, even though it's an unstable version. So. Just because it's releasing doesn't mean it's ready. That's kind of how CIG's been. Look at this latest patch.
They don't have to care because they made over $100 million this year.
They have just as of right now, they have made more money. This is the best year they've ever made money, and they still have a month left.
It's crazy, isn't it?
They have the rest of the sale left, and they have a month left.
They're coming up on the 900. They're coming up on the 900. It's crazy.
Trillion dollars. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
I really can't. Surprised.
All right,
I stopped giving a shit when they got to like 31 million. I was just like, God, it's just a number now.
When they reached like 500 million, I was like, okay, there's just nowhere, like whatever. Like I don't care. Like it was the first year they made like $100 million. I was like, all right, that's it. Like it's just a matter. I use it as a metric of like, do people still care? They do. They're still paying money for it. Yep, obviously they still care. I also
just want them to bring in enough money to pay the bills and keep the lights on. I don't care about the record-breaking crap of it. I just want to make sure that there's enough money to keep the lights on and keep it going.
And I've talked to a number of people at CIG, even in higher positions, who tell me like, oh, they are razor-thin margins. Like they operate on razor-thin margins for everything. It's not like they're throwing lavish balls. It's like they're paying.
Well, they don't have to report a profit. Like they just have to keep enough money to keep everything running.
Yeah.
So the profit is basically Chris Roberts' paycheck. Whatever he takes home, that's what profit is.
But they're also very careful with what they spend, even on things that are like not.
I remember seeing that video for their new really expensive
theater
studio, Paul, and I don't know much about game development, but that can't seem right. They're really careful with what they spend, Vertigo. Like, I don't know, Paul.
Do you know who paid for that?
No, that studio, wait, studio is more elaborate than any other game studio.
Manchester, the city of Manchester paid for that shit. Like,
yep, they sure did.
They got so many fucking tax breaks.
It takes breaks over like crazy.
The thing you have to understand about Manchester, what I've learned is that Manchester is desperate to be the Silicon Valley of the UK. So anyone who has any kind of pull in technology, they just throw money at them.
Exactly.
So
that
like
whole
the
development
tax,
there is called enterprise, and that whole thing, they're dumping tons of money to draw that attention into that area
yeah.
over there.
So
It's crazy.
I would be very, very, very wary of that CIG paid much, if any, money just for that studio compared to like the tax breaks and the other things they got. They have
Yep.
so many incentives for that. Just do not take it. Do not underestimate Chris Roberts' ability to scam the shit out of local governments, because holy shit.
Ortwin's.
Yeah, or Ortwin's ability.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is a scam. It's just he's scamming the UK government, not the backers.
Listen, they're the ones who are like actively throwing the money at him because he says he wants to make a video game, and they show him the crazy stuff. He's like, money here, please stay in Manchester. You know.
Yeah.
You know, town councils, they're big about that. And, you know, to a degree, they're trying to do it, and they are kind of succeeding. It just, that's how it is. Last question. I mean, from Manchester's point of view, they want to draw on good jobs. Yeah, also all of those people who are making money at CIG are paying taxes and living in Manchester, paying for houses or apartments, going shopping in the local shops, you know, that kind of thing. They fucking love CitizenCon when it shows up. They're like, yes, like more tourism, you know. Last question's from Escape, who asks, opinions of folks demanding AI blades so they can solo their capital ships. I believe that AI blades should be added sooner rather than later. That is fine. I have no problem with AI blades, because AI blades will cost heat and energy. So you won't be able to use all of your heat and energy to do other things.
You got to make a decision.
Yes.
Yep.
It will not be as
Balancing.
efficient, you know?
But I say just get it into the game so you can start dealing with the balance problems that AI blades bring.
Yeah, but I think they're better of a solution than NPCs, only because they're simpler. They're simpler to do, and they're more gameplay.
I mean, CIG could allow us to teleport NPCs into our turrets and have them be exactly like the NPC turrets we're fighting on NPC Starship, right?
Easy.
That's a thing that could happen, like, right now.
Yeah, but a NPC doesn't in turrets doesn't require like any resources. They could just exist.
I mean, they could code it to that way, but that's kind of like my point. Like, you could have automated turrets in ships.
They do already,
for
basically.
the player base.
So it's just a matter of like them making it a gameplay aspect. So, but yeah, that is it. That is the last question. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you to Vertigo and Griffin for coming in and hanging out and talking IAE and Star Citizen in general. If you did enjoy this, hit that follow button, subscribe for more content, and of course, check out HC Vertigo at twitch.tv/HCVertigo. Thursday through Monday. And then check out Soul Citizens. There's still 3 podcasts,
Sundays.
right?
No.
Just
Sundays, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
That's it.
And if you enjoyed this, make sure you check us out on twitch.tv/theastropub, youtube.com/@the-Captain's-Table-Podcast. We do this live on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Would love to have you come join us and ask your own questions here. And I'm going to plug my own channels a little bit more. For those of you who don't know, I also stream on Twitch pretty much 4 or 5 days a week, Thursday through Monday, on twitch.tv/theastropub, youtube.com/theastropublive. And of course, I do a lore channel called The Astro Historian, which I try to produce a lore video once every 2 weeks, if not once a month. But I've got a lot this month because it's IAE and holidays, so I've been pushing out a lot more, and people have been enjoying it. So I'm trying to keep up the pace, so I end up being like more like once a month or twice a month, so that people enjoy it and not like burn myself out in the process, because I am so tired right now because of all that stuff. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday. The Black.